Black CEO goes undercover to his real estate company. The next day, he fires his employees. Malik Jefferson, an accomplished African-American entrepreneur and CEO of the booming real estate firm Skyline Properties, often stood before cameras at galas, extolling the virtues of teamwork and integrity. Yet lately, rumors of unscrupulous deals and a toxic work culture swirled within the office walls. Determined to see the truth for himself, Malik exchanged his tailored suits for simple khakis and a t-shirt, going undercover among his own employees. What he discovered behind the polished veneer shook him to the core. In a single moment of righteous anger, he decided to fire multiple staff the very next day. But in this high-stakes world, even a CEO isn't immune to dramatic repercussions, and Malik's fateful decision would spark a whirlwind of lessons, betrayals, and a karmic fallout that no one saw coming. Malik Jefferson's path to success was carved from sheer grit and unyielding ambition. Born in Atlanta's southern suburbs to a single mother who juggled two jobs, he learned the value of hard work early on. Scholarships propelled him through Morehouse College, then an MBA at Harvard. When he launched Skyline Properties in Chicago 5 years ago, few expected a young black entrepreneur to outmaneuver older, established firms like Cushman & Wakefield or CBRE. But that's precisely what happened. His formula was simple: an unwavering commitment to ethical deals, fierce loyalty to employees, and a promise that Skyline would reshape urban landscapes responsibly. Over time, the firm soared, acquiring properties across major cities. Yet amid their triumph, Malik sensed something amiss. Whispers reached him about questionable deals, discriminatory hiring practices, and employees bragging about shortcuts that undercut Skyline's moral code. Determined to confirm or refute these rumors, Malik concocted a plan. He'd vanish from the corporate spotlight for a week, adopting the alias Mark Davis, an amiable new hire from out of state who'd roam Skyline's offices, learning from the inside out. If all was well, he'd find relief. If not, well, he was prepared to act. Malik scheduled 2 days of intense preparation, crafting a plausible backstory, forging ID badges, and instructing only 2 trusted aides to keep his secret. The stage was set for a corporate infiltration like no other. Just before leaving, Malik's phone buzzed with an anonymous message: "Watch your back." Not everyone wants change. He frowned, scanning the number unregistered. Was it a harmless prank? Or did someone inside Skyline already suspect his plan? A chill crept up his spine. He shook it off, but the unease lingered. Early Monday morning, Malik left his Lakeshore Drive penthouse without the usual chauffeur or polished suit. Instead, he donned worn khakis, a button-down shirt, and comfortable loafers, mundane attire for a mid-level staffer. His Tesla remained in the garage. He hailed a rideshare to Skyline Properties headquarters, an impressive 25-story tower with tinted glass and a bold S logo crowning the top. As Mark Davis, Malik walked into the lobby, heart pounding with a mix of nerves and anticipation. A cluster of employees milled by the reception desk, scanning ID badges. No one paid him special attention. He approached the front desk with measured confidence, presenting his forged temp pass. The receptionist, a young woman named Bailey, offered a courteous smile. "Morning. You must be the new analyst. Let me buzz HR to have someone escort you." Soon, an HR assistant named Tiffany arrived, chirpy and excited to greet a new team member. She led Malik through plush hallways, lined with motivational posters touting Skyline's values: transparency, respect, community. The irony wasn't lost on him. Would these values truly reflect in daily operations? They reached an open-concept workspace bustling with staff. Tiffany introduced him to a cluster of co-workers in the Urban Development Division who politely welcomed him. For the first time in years, Malik Jefferson, CEO, felt oddly invisible. Malik's new workstation was a standard grey cubicle in the corner, far from the executive suites he once strolled. From this vantage, he could observe without drawing attention. His direct supervisor, a brash mid-manager named Cameron Shaw, wasted no time assigning tasks, data entry on potential property acquisitions, cross-referencing city zoning regulations, tedious grunt work that Malik recognized as important. With a polite nod, Malik rolled up his sleeves and delved in. The hustle of conversation floated around him, colleagues gossiping about the big boss, him rumored to be away on some exotic vacation, a few bragging how certain deals skirted environmental reviews. That last remark stoked Malik's interest. He listened closely but made no comment. Around mid-morning, a tall figure with a pompous gait swept through the cubicles, a regional manager named Bryce Caldwell. Malik recognized Bryce from quarterly reports, but had never spoken with him directly. Bryce scanned the floor with a hawk-like gaze, occasionally interrupting employees with abrupt questions. "Hey, you," Bryce said suddenly, eyeing Malik. "Where's Cameron? The first needs some property comp files." Malik kept calm. "He's at the printer, I think. Should be back soon." Bryce's eyes narrowed. "You knew?" "Yes, sir. Mark Davis, temp analyst." Bryce scoffed lightly. "Huh. Well, let's hope you can keep up." Then he stomped off, leaving Malik with a sour taste. If this was how upper management behaved, the rumored toxicity might be very real. During lunch break, a few co-workers invited Malik to a nearby cafe for sandwiches. He joined them, grateful for the chance to blend in. There was Angela, a soft-spoken junior analyst, and two associates named Miguel and Sarah, who seemed friendly enough. They asked standard new hire questions, curious about his background. Malik stuck to his cover story: a business degree from a smaller college in Kansas, a short stint at a realty startup, now relocated to Chicago for better prospects. Between bites of a turkey club, Angela let slip some eye-opening complaints. "Man, you're lucky you joined now. Last year's staff got hammered with insane quotas. Bryce specifically set targets so high, half the team either quit or got fired. Morale was awful." Miguel nodded. "Yeah, and there's some shady stuff with property appraisals. People say certain deals get special tweaks so we can close them faster. I just keep my head down." As they chatted, Angela discreetly slid a napkin toward Malik. He unfolded it, finding a hastily scribbled note: "Careful who you trust. Some deals aren't just shady, they're dangerous." Malik looked up, but Angela was already sipping her drink, avoiding eye contact. His pulse quickened. Sarah lowered her voice. "A month ago, a new developer approached Skyline for a low-income housing project. But rumor is Bryce turned them away because it wouldn't generate high commissions like corporate's ethics statements are all talk." Malik's stomach twisted. These revelations confirmed his suspicions. Skyline's brand was being compromised from within. He feigned polite interest while mentally filing every detail for later confrontation. Returning from lunch, Malik resumed his data tasks, making sure to discreetly glean more intel. The spreadsheets he handled revealed multiple pending deals, some with questionable notations: expedite no matter what, or ignore minor zoning conflict. He recognized the risk in ignoring regulations. He also noticed an internal email thread pop up on his assigned laptop. The thread, from Bryce Caldwell to certain managers, included lines like, "Close the Greenway project before the official wetlands assessment. Delay reporting if needed." Malik's brow furrowed. This was a clear attempt at circumventing environmental checks. He saved screenshots, planning to review them thoroughly later. That afternoon, as the clock inched toward 5, Cameron Shaw approached. "Mark, I'll need you to finalize these comps for tomorrow. And do me a favor, if Bryce or upper managers ask, highlight only the positive aspects." We're trying to push a quick sale, so keep any negative details out of the summary. Malik forced a neutral expression. But that might be misleading. Cameron shrugged. We do what we must, man. Skyline's about winning deals. You want to keep this job? Trust me. Keep your mouth shut and do as told. So much for integrity. Malik recognized the betrayal of Skyline's stated mission. If these corners were being cut so openly, the corruption likely ran deeper. At 6 p.m., Malik exited the building with a heavy heart, an unsteady swirl of disappointment and anger roiling within. The friendly facade of Skyline had cracks, a toxic culture perpetuated by mid-level leadership with Bryce Caldwell at its apex. He wondered how many employees shared the owner's original vision, only to be manipulated into moral compromises. He took a taxi to a discreet cafe in the West Loop, where he'd arranged to meet Justine Cole, his longtime friend and legal advisor. Over steaming cappuccinos, Malik recounted the day's revelations, Bryce's arrogance, the hidden shady deals, manager intimidation. This is insane. It's not just a few bad apples. The entire orchard might be rotting, he lamented. Justine pursed her lips. If Skyline is systematically ignoring regulations or forging property data, you're exposed to serious liability. I'd advise swift action, but we need concrete evidence. Malik nodded. I'm documenting everything. I'll go back tomorrow, gather more proof. Then I'll announce a surprise return as CEO and handle the fallout. Justine cautioned him. Be thorough, but stay safe. If these managers are brazen enough to defraud or intimidate, they might retaliate when cornered. Malik promised to be careful. Inside, his resolve hardened. He wouldn't let Skyline's name be tarnished. Hard measures might be needed like mass firings, if that was the only route to restore the company's integrity. The following morning, Malik arrived earlier, wearing the same Mark Davis persona. He wanted an unobstructed chance to rummage through the shared server's documents. Settling at his cubicle, he tapped away, scanning archived emails. Some threads revealed disturbingly unethical strategies, like forging inflated projected rents to lure investors, or misrepresenting property boundaries. A colleague, Angela, sidled up. Hey, Mark. You come in bright and early, huh? He gave a casual shrug. Just wanted to impress the boss. She sighed. Wish more of us had that drive. Bryce's circle are mostly opportunists anyway. Her gaze darted around. And watch out for Cameron, he's nice on the surface, but definitely an enabler for questionable deals. Malik stored that caution. Thanks for the heads up. By mid-morning, an email from Bryce Caldwell circulated, demanding an urgent staff meeting. The message read, due to certain concerns, I want everyone in the conference room at 11 a.m. for an update on performance. Attendance is mandatory. Malik's pulse quickened. Did Bryce suspect something? Possibly. The best move was to comply, remain undercover, and see what Bryce planned to announce. At 11 a.m. sharp, the entire floor converged in the glass-walled conference room, tension thick in the air. Malik slipped in quietly, taking a seat near the back. Bryce stood at the head, exuding an air of authority. Let the show begin. Bryce Caldwell opened the meeting with forced pleasantries, praising the dedication of the urban development team. Then his tone shifted. We've been hearing chatter about possible investigations into our methods, he stated, scanning the room. I want to remind everyone our priority is to close deals and maximize returns. If any of you are harboring doubts or complaining about certain practices, you should come to me directly, not spread rumors. Malik noticed anxious looks among staff. Bryce's gaze hardened. Also, we'll be accelerating the timeline on the Lakeshore Heights project. We can't afford delays from city review boards. Cameron, you'll ensure the comms highlight only the positives. Got it? Cameron nodded, eyes flicking guiltily. Bryce continued, voice cold, "We must remain united. If I catch anyone leaking data or complaining outside the chain of command, there will be consequences." Skyline is built on loyalty. At that, a hush fell. Bryce's subtext was clear. Any whistleblowers would be punished. Malik's fists clenched under the table. This man was openly threatening the staff. The meeting ended abruptly, leaving employees pale-faced. Angela gave Malik a worried glance as they filed out. Bryce's intimidation was intensifying. If Malik needed confirmation that a purge might be necessary, this was it. Tomorrow might be the day to reveal his true identity and eradicate this toxic culture. After the tense meeting, Malik lingered to speak with Angela in a hallway corner. She looked rattled. "I can't keep doing this," she whispered, eyes brimming with tears. "I joined Skyline thinking it was an ethical real estate firm. Now it's all lies. Bryce's threats. It's too much." Malik gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "Hang in there. Changes are coming. Trust me." She studied his face, confusion crossing her features. "You talk like you know something." He hesitated, nearly confessing his identity, but deciding to wait a few more hours. "Let's just say I have faith the company's real leadership won't stand for this. Just do your job carefully. Don't do anything illegal, and keep notes. You won't be left alone." Angela nodded, a flicker of hope in her eyes. "Okay, I'll trust you, Mark." That afternoon, rumors swirled that the CEO might be back soon, though no official memo was out. Bryce paced the floor, barked orders, and demanded accelerated deals. Meanwhile, Malik quietly gathered final pieces of evidence. He emailed the documents to Justine, ensuring a backup of all incriminating files in case Bryce tried to purge the servers. By day's end, tension was at an all-time high. The stage was set for a dramatic confrontation. Malik decided tomorrow morning he'd arrive not as Mark Davis, but as Malik Jefferson. The founder and CEO heads would roll. As he left his penthouse that night, a dark SUV idled across the street, headlights off. Malik hesitated. Was he being paranoid? He turned away, but then a voice behind him muttered, "You don't want to do this, Jefferson." Whipping around, he barely caught a figure slipping into the SUV before it sped off. A warning or a promise of something worse. That night, Malik called an emergency meeting with his top two confidants, Justine Cole and Reggie Thomas, Skyline's CFO, who'd remained out of the loop by Malik's design to preserve secrecy. Now, however, Malik needed Reggie's cooperation. They gathered at Malik's penthouse with city lights twinkling in the windows. First, Malik revealed everything discovered undercover. Bryce's intimidation, fraudulent property data, managers complicit in shady deals, widespread fear among staff. Reggie's face turned pale as he read the screenshots, disclaimers, and emails. This is catastrophic. If regulators find out, Skyline's brand is on the line. Justine chimed in. "We must act decisively. Fire the key culprits, revamp compliance, and reassure any innocent employees that they're safe." Malik nodded. "I plan to walk in tomorrow as myself, deliver a short speech, and personally terminate Bryce Caldwell and any manager proven to be part of this corruption. HR will oversee immediate replacements. We'll address staff, apologize for the toxic environment, and vow reform." Reggie exhaled, the enormity settling in. "It'll be messy, but it's the only way to salvage Skyline's ethics." Malik set his jaw. "Yes, the next day I'll publicize the move, show the world Skyline means business. Some employees might be upset or blindsided, but we can't shy away from cleansing our ranks." The following morning, Malik Jefferson strode into Skyline's lobby in a tailored navy suit, accompanied by Justine Cole, Reggie Thomas, and a small entourage of HR and legal staff. The calm confidence in his posture contrasted with the staff's stunned reactions. Many employees did double takes, is that. The CEO, Bryce Caldwell, perched near the reception desk, froze in mid-conversation. His face fell as Malik approached with a polite but cold greeting. "Good morning, Bryce. Could you gather the staff in the main conference room, please? We have important business." Bryce forced a nervous smile. Yes, Mr. Jefferson. Right away." Within minutes, the entire floor assembled. Malik stood at the head of the large conference table, flanked by Reggie and Justine. The tension was palpable. Angela, Cameron, Sarah, and others eyed him with curiosity or apprehension. Meanwhile, Bryce hovered near the back, sweat beading on his forehead. Malik cleared his throat. "Thank you all for joining on short notice. As many know, I've been away. But in truth, I wasn't absent from Skyline. I've been here undercover." He let the weight of those words sink in. Gasps rippled through the crowd. "Yes, some of you know me as Mark Davis from the Urban Development Division. Over the past week, I've seen firsthand both the excellence many of you bring and, regrettably, serious misconduct by certain leaders." Silence gripped the room. Malik's voice resonated with measured authority. Skyline was built on integrity, community-minded development, and ethical conduct. Unfortunately, I've discovered managers abusing staff, forging data, skirting regulations, and bullying employees into compliance. This is unacceptable. He paused, scanning the sea of faces. Angela's gaze shone with relief. Cameron's expression was conflicted, uncertain if he was included in the wrongdoing. Bryce swallowed hard. Malik continued, "Effective immediately, I'm terminating anyone found to be violating Skyline's ethical code. That includes Mr. Bryce Caldwell." Before Bryce could respond, another voice cut through the room. "Actually, you don't have that authority anymore." Malik turned sharply. Standing near the doorway was Richard Faulkner, the company's largest investor. He held up a document, his lips curling into a smirk. "I just bought controlling shares this morning, which means, Jefferson, you might be the one leaving." Gasps erupted across the room. Malik's jaw clenched. This wasn't just a corporate takeover, it was sabotage, a collective gasp. Bryce staggered forward, face flushed with anger. "But you can't," Malik cut him off. "Your intimidation, tiptoeing around city reviews, harassing staff is well documented. You have 15 minutes to clear your desk." Bryce's face contorted with fury. "This is outrageous. I've made millions in deals for Skyline. You're throwing me away?" Malik's tone hardened. "Skyline cannot thrive on ill-gotten gains. This conversation is over. Security will escort you out." Bryce seethed, slamming a file folder on the table. "You'll regret this, Jefferson." He spat, then stormed off, security trailing. Malik turned to the crowd, voice calmer. "Any manager complicit in these unethical practices will also be let go. HR will meet with each department head to finalize a thorough roster review. If you're innocent, you have nothing to fear." A ripple of shock coursed through the employees. Some wore expressions of relief, others fear. Cameron stepped forward, trembling. "Sir, I followed Bryce's orders. I was just. I didn't realize." Malik's gaze was stern but not unkind. "I know the pressure you faced. That said, if you knowingly withheld crucial data or coerced staff, there will be consequences. HR will investigate each individual case. Cooperate, be truthful, and perhaps your job can be salvaged." Cameron nodded, tears brimming. "I will, sir." Malik turned to the broader group. "We will restore Skyline's founding principles. Effective immediately. All pending deals with questionable compliance are suspended for review. We'll restructure the internal oversight process so no single manager can abuse power. And for those who've suffered under intimidation or discrimination, my apologies." I pledged to make amends. In the hush that followed, Angela wiped tears, a wave of relief washing over her. Others murmured supportive words. The sense of liberation was palpable. Malik inhaled. I know many of you are good people who want to do the right thing. Stick with me, and we'll fix this. My door is open for any concerns. Though a few employees quietly left, presumably being part of the bad apples, the majority remained, uncertain but hopeful. Skyline's day of reckoning had arrived, and a new era beckoned. That afternoon, HR initiated private interviews. Some managers were fired on the spot after confirmatory evidence of wrongdoing. Others, who'd been coerced or complicit to a lesser degree, received stern warnings but were given a chance to redeem themselves under close supervision. The exodus of staff was jarring. Over a dozen employees packed their belongings, scowling or cursing Skyline, but the majority recognized a necessary purge. Meanwhile, Angela timidly approached Malik's makeshift office, a corner suite he'd reclaimed. "Sir, I want to thank you. Without your undercover effort, we'd still be stuck." Malik smiled warmly. "Thank you for your honesty. People like you keep Skyline's spirit alive. Don't call me Zia, by the way, Malik is fine." She laughed softly, relief shining in her eyes. "Yes, Mr. Jefferson." Then she blushed. "Will we have enough staff to carry on with all these firings?" He nodded. "We'll manage. This is short-term pain. I'll reassign some folks from other offices, bring in new hires who share our values. Skyline will come out stronger." Angela exhaled. "That's a relief." Just then, Reggie Thomas entered, brandishing documents. "Malik, we're finalizing severance details for the fired employees." Some of them threaten legal action. Malik's jaw tightened. "We'll handle it. I'm not backing down from a lawsuit for upholding integrity." By early evening, the dust began settling. Among those terminated, Bryce Caldwell's furious exit left a wave of anxious rumors. He threatened revenge. He knows big secrets that could harm Skyline. But Malik refused to dwell on Bryce's threats. The man had orchestrated unethical deals that alone could land Bryce in legal hot water. Malik convened a brief staff meeting for those who remained. He gave a transparent overview. Skyline would recheck all pending deals for compliance. No employees would face retaliation for whistleblowing, and the company's open-door policy for reporting misconduct was re-emphasized. The staff applauded spontaneously, a sign that morale might rebound. As the meeting ended, a quiet hush of relief spread. Angela and others lingered, smiling at each other. Some offered heartfelt thanks to Malik. He accepted them humbly, reminding them it was their bravery that allowed the truth to emerge. That night, as he left the building, Malik recalled the day he found Skyline, his dream to break stereotypes, to show a black CEO could redefine real estate with ethical, community-focused projects. This purge, though painful, reasserted that vision. He felt a sense of righteous accomplishment, but also an uneasy hum of tension, because Bryce's final vow of retribution echoed in his mind like a distant storm cloud. Days turned into a week. The corporate world buzzed with the dramatic shift at Skyline Properties. Competitors like Cushman and Wakefield quietly observed, anticipating potential chaos. The press sniffed around for a scandal. Skyline's CEO fires key management in surprise sweep. Some reporters reached out, fishing for rumors of deeper corruption. Malik, aided by Justine, carefully shaped a public statement. Skyline had detected internal misconduct, taken swift corrective action, and reaffirmed its commitment to transparent real estate transactions. This honest approach softened negative press. The result, Skyline's stock actually stabilized, with many praising the CEO's decisiveness. Internally, morale soared among honest employees. Freed from intimidation, they embraced new processes that placed ethics front and center. Angela, for instance, thrived under a revised role, assisting compliance checks. Even Cameron Shaw, after a stern warning and probation, seemed genuinely remorseful, working diligently to rebuild trust. Still, shadows lingered. One evening, as Malik locked up his office, he found a note slipped under the door. Handwritten, it read, "Your purge isn't over. I have secrets that could bring you down, B." The letter was obviously from Bryce. Malik's chest tightened. He wondered, what secrets could Bryce hold that might endanger Skyline? Or was it an empty threat from a disgraced ex-manager? Malik took the note to Justine Cole. They analyzed possible angles. Bryce could be bluffing. Or perhaps Bryce had discovered something in Skyline's history that might appear scandalous if misrepresented. Justine suggested a thorough internal review of all old deals to ensure no hidden skeletons. Malik agreed, launching a second wave of internal audits, this time focusing on older acquisitions done before Skyline's growth spurt. Meanwhile, staff at the Ashland building adapted to the new leadership approach. The interim managers who replaced the fired ones introduced more collaborative methods. People felt safer. Angela was promoted to ethics liaison, a newly created position to handle staff concerns, bridging compliance and daily operations. A sign Skyline meant business about integrity. One afternoon, as she sorted through old property files, Angela stumbled upon a curious set of documents regarding a major purchase from 3 years ago, the Horizon Heights complex. Oddly, the logs were partially redacted. Names of certain sellers were blacked out. She flagged it for Malik. Reviewing the documents, Malik frowned. He vaguely recalled the complex, but these redactions were suspicious. If Bryce or someone else had orchestrated a deal with hidden parties, it could be damaging. Perhaps this was the secret Bryce threatened to expose. Malik decided to dig deeper, determined no skeleton would hamper Skyline's redemption. Malik tasked a specialized team, Justine, Reggie, Angela, and a few trusted analysts to investigate the Horizon Heights sale. They discovered that back then, Bryce managed the entire negotiation, which was oddly rushed. The sale price was below market average, raising a red flag. The property's original owner was shielded behind a shell corporation. The local bank's financing was also unusual, lacking typical underwriting standards. As they peeled back layers, it became clear that a portion of the purchase funds ended up in an offshore account linked to an unknown entity. If Bryce was involved, it meant Skyline unknowingly laundered money or aided an illicit transaction. That would be a major scandal, possibly leading to legal ramifications for Skyline. Angela gasped as she read the details. This is huge. If it goes public that Skyline once facilitated money laundering, even unknowingly, the brand is in danger. Justine nodded. We need definitive proof that Bryce orchestrated this behind the scenes. That would mitigate Skyline's liability. Otherwise, we risk being labeled complicit. Malik's stomach sank. Bryce's threat suddenly made sense. This was the secret that could ruin Skyline, a contaminated deal in their own records. He pressed his palms on the table, determination flaring. We must find all the evidence and come clean if necessary. I won't let Bryce hold us hostage. Just then, Angela's phone buzzed. She paled as she read the screen. Malik, Jason's missing. Jason Walters was a mid-level accountant at Skyline, the one who first flagged unusual transactions in the Horizon Heights deal. He was supposed to testify in front of legal auditors tomorrow. Malik's stomach knotted. When was he last seen? Angela swallowed. Yesterday evening. He told a friend he was meeting someone with answers about the case. The room fell silent. If Jason had been silenced, they were up against more than just corporate fraud. As the team raced to unearth the truth behind Horizon Heights, Bryce resurged in the news. An online article featured a cryptic interview with him, teasing explosive revelations about Skyline's questionable deals. Tension skyrocketed within the company. Some employees worried that after the mass firings, Skyline might face a meltdown. Others believed in Malik's integrity, trusting he'd navigate the storm. One evening, Malik convened a late-night strategy session in Skyline's top-floor boardroom, assembling Justine, Reggie, Angela, and a small circle of loyal executives. The windows overlooked Chicago's glittering skyline as they pored over new evidence, an old email chain from Bryce's personal account referencing kickbacks from an anonymous shell company. "This is the smoking gun," Justine declared. "It shows Bryce conspired with external parties to push that sale, funneling money illegally. Skyline's main risk is if the authorities see we lacked proper oversight." Malik exhaled, both relief and dread swirling. "At least we can prove Bryce orchestrated it. Tomorrow we'll contact the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit, volunteer our findings. We'll state Skyline was unaware but takes full responsibility for corporate governance lapses." Reggie nodded. "Voluntary disclosure is our best shot at reducing liability." Angela, though anxious, admired Malik's courage. They'd face condemnation for not catching it sooner, but honesty was the only path forward. The karmic wheel turned, and Skyline now had to own its past mistakes to preserve a just future. The following day, Skyline's legal counsel officially contacted the FBI, presenting the Horizon Heights documents. A formal investigation began, with Malik pledging full cooperation. The press sniffed a major scandal. Headlines blared. Skyline investigated for shady real estate deal, and CEO Malik Jefferson vows transparency. Some shareholders panicked. Stock prices wobbled. Yet Malik refused to bury the story or spin false narratives. He held a press conference outside Skyline's headquarters, flanked by Justine. The cameras flashed as he spoke clearly. Skyline recently uncovered evidence of financial misconduct tied to a past property acquisition. We take this matter seriously, have informed authorities, and are implementing stricter oversight. A reporter shouted, "Does this confirm Skyline laundered money?" Malik answered calmly, "Preliminary evidence suggests a former senior manager colluded with outside parties. Skyline is a victim of internal betrayal. Nonetheless, we accept responsibility for failing to detect it sooner. We're cooperating fully with the FBI." Though intense scrutiny followed, many admired Malik's candor. He credited the staff, who bravely exposed wrongdoing. Angela watched from the crowd, swelling with pride. Meanwhile, Bryce Caldwell lurked in the shadows, likely preparing more revelations. But for now, Skyline controlled the narrative by confronting its skeleton head-on. The stage was set for a final reckoning. Despite the official approach, Bryce still attempted to sow chaos. He anonymously leaked partial documents to select media outlets, painting Skyline as complicit in laundering. The coverage spiked, alleging deeper corruption. Social media buzzed with condemnation. Skyline's stock dipped further. Some top clients hesitated on new deals, citing reputational risk. Malik held firm, intensifying internal reforms. He introduced daily compliance checks, mandated manager ethics training, and set up a whistleblower hotline directly to his office. Staff recognized these steps as genuine. Morale remained stable, but the outside world demanded swift resolution. Amid the chaos, the FBI's preliminary findings aligned with Skyline's disclosure. Bryce orchestrated deals with criminal partners. Malik took solace in that partial exoneration. However, the FBI also scolded Skyline for LAX oversight. A potential fine loomed. One morning, as Malik paced the 25th floor corridor, Angela rushed up. "I just overheard from a friend in a local news station. Bryce is planning a TV interview tonight, claiming he has proof you personally profited from the Horizon Heights fiasco." Malik's heart pounded. This was a direct attack on his character. "That's a lie," he muttered, eyes flashing. Angela bit her lip. "He's desperate. If he can't salvage his own reputation, he'll try to drag you down with him." Malik exhaled. "Then let's show the world the truth first." He reached into his desk drawer and pulled out a flash drive. Angela frowned. "What's that?" He smirked. "A recording. Bryce thought I was just a dumb temp, but I recorded every shady order he gave me, every intimidation tactic, every illegal instruction." Angela's eyes widened. "You," Malik nodded. "Tomorrow morning, we release this to the press before Bryce can say a word." Malik squared his shoulders. "He can try. We'll fight this smear with facts." At 8 p.m., a local Chicago station aired an exclusive interview with Bryce Caldwell. He appeared solemn, spinning a tale that pinned Horizon Heights and other shady deals on Malik. The anchor, evidently unprepared with contrary evidence, let Bryce rant. He brandished printouts, alleged email correspondences, claiming Malik personally approved irregular financing for the complex. A wave of public skepticism erupted. On social media, some questioned Malik's innocence. Others insisted it was an obvious smear. Meanwhile, Skyline's phone lines lit up with concerned partners. The press demanded Malik's response. Malik, watching from his living room, felt fury coil inside. He recognized the documents Bryce displayed, heavily doctored versions of old emails, possibly spliced. The next morning, Skyline's PR team scheduled a press conference. Before stepping to the podium, Justine whispered, "We've got a forensic digital specialist confirming Bryce's emails are fabricated. Let's present that evidence, plus the real chain." Malik nodded. He stepped out to face the cameras once more. Calmly, he debunked Bryce's claims with data, timestamps proving the emails were manipulated, metadata logs showing the original messages never contained the alleged instructions. The digital specialist joined him on stage, explaining the forgery. The press marveled at the clarity. By conference's end, Bryce's smear attempt was thoroughly discredited. Another blowback for the disgraced ex-manager, another step of vindication for Malik. As the scandal's dust began to settle, Skyline's sincerity and transparency gradually restored confidence. The FBI investigation remained ongoing, but partial updates suggested no major charges against Skyline as an entity, thanks to thorough cooperation and blame centering on Bryce's conspiracy. Malik scheduled a meeting with the board of directors to outline a plan for long-term damage control and brand rebuilding. He proposed launching a philanthropic initiative aimed at supporting underserved communities with affordable housing, a direct reflection of Skyline's founding principle. This move would reaffirm the company's heart, overshadowing the recent negativity. The board unanimously approved. Meanwhile, staff reorganized under fresh leadership. The new managers introduced a more collaborative environment, fostering a wave of positivity. Angela, thriving in her role as ethics liaison, championed an employee forum for suggestions on community outreach. The metamorphosis was swift yet genuine, an all-hands effort to restore Skyline's reputation from within. Malik felt proud but also exhausted. The emotional toll of the last few weeks weighed heavily. Late one night, he sat in his office, gazing at the city lights, reflecting on the journey from that first day undercover to now. He recognized a deeper truth. Staying vigilant was crucial. Complacency would only invite future corruption. The real work had just begun. In a dramatic turn, Bryce Caldwell was arrested following an FBI sting that uncovered his network of illicit dealings. News footage showed him in handcuffs, face contorted with rage, shouting that Skyline had framed him. But the evidence was overwhelming. Wire transfers to offshore accounts, false appraisals, laundering ties, all pointed to Bryce's personal enrichment. Malik watched the broadcast, a swirl of relief and sadness in his heart. He'd once believed managers like Bryce could be reformed. Instead, Greed consumed Bryce, leading to a destructive path. The next morning, Skyline employees collectively exhaled. The nightmare in the shadows was gone. Anna, from reception, decorated the lobby with a small, fresh beginning sign. People recognized the symbolic gesture. With Bryce in custody, the gloom lifted. Malik gathered the staff in an informal meeting, acknowledging the difficulties but praising their resilience. "We can't let one man's crimes define us. We'll keep forging a better Skyline. Each one of you is vital to that mission." Thunderous applause followed. In that moment, it felt like the company's soul was restored. The purge completed, the new culture blossomed. Malik silently thanked his younger self for never giving up on a moral vision, no matter how tested it became. A month later, Skyline's new philanthropic endeavor, the City Lift Initiative, launched with fanfare, focusing on renovating neglected properties into affordable housing. Partnerships with local non-profits flourished. The media lauded Skyline's transformation from scandal to socially responsible leadership. Angela received an expanded role in the initiative, coordinating volunteer efforts. Over coffee one morning, she expressed gratitude to Malik. "Before you came undercover, I felt powerless. Now I see how quickly a place can turn around when the top truly cares." Malik smiled. "The real credit goes to employees like you who refuse to lose hope, even under a toxic system." "I just shone a light." She nodded, eyes bright. "So, does Skyline plan more expansions? Or are we focusing on internal reforms for a while?" Malik considered. "We'll do both, but carefully. I want Skyline to set the benchmark, big expansions rooted in responsible, honest practices. Our brand will stand for real estate with a conscience." Their conversation exemplified the new spirit at Skyline, bold yet accountable. The lessons from Bryce Caldwell's downfall resonated: absolute transparency, zero tolerance for corruption. As the company soared anew, Malik reflected that, ironically, his decision to go undercover triggered a crisis but ultimately saved Skyline's soul. One quiet Friday afternoon, Cameron Shaw, who'd barely escaped firing, requested a private meeting with Malik. Nervously stepping into the CEO's refurbished corner suite, Cameron cleared his throat. "Mr. Jefferson, I just wanted to apologize personally. I colluded with Bryce, albeit reluctantly, but I still did wrong. Thank you for not firing me outright." Malik studied him a moment, sensing genuine remorse. Everyone deserves a chance to redeem themselves if they own their mistakes. "Are you prepared to help me ensure no repeats of that environment?" Cameron nodded earnestly. "I am, sir. Actually, I have some ideas for an internal training program to reinforce ethics. I'd like to present them if possible." A smile tugged at Malik's lips. "I'd like that. Present them next week to me and HR. Let's see how we can incorporate them." Cameron left with a visible weight lifted, while Malik felt a quiet satisfaction. Perhaps not all who compromised under Bryce's reign were inherently corrupt. Some, like Cameron, simply lacked the backbone to resist until a strong leadership example emerged. Malik realized the significance. Real leadership transforms not by fear, but by inspiring change. This was the positive ripple from his decision to go undercover. It had awakened consciences. As Skyline's reformation took root, employees shared stories of how the undercover CEO incident had galvanized them. Tales circulated about that first day when Mark Davis sat among them, asking naive questions, quietly absorbing the company's daily grind. The story became legend, how a black CEO disguised himself to reveal injustice and then swiftly delivered justice. Media interest lingered. A reporter from the Chicago Tribune requested an interview to discuss Skyline's journey from near scandal to redemption. After some deliberation, Malik agreed, hoping to encourage other companies to self-reflect. During the interview, The reporter asked, "Why go undercover personally instead of just sending HR or auditors?" Malik's answer was heartfelt. "Because employees might fear retribution. Also, executives sometimes get sanitized versions of the truth. I wanted raw honesty. The best way was to walk in their shoes." The piece, headlined "CEO Goes Incognito to Save His Company," garnered widespread praise. Many pointed out that, as a black CEO, Malik faced heavier scrutiny than some peers, making his moral stand even more significant. Skyline's stock gradually rebounded. Prospective clients took note of the renewed culture. Behind it all, Malik remained humble, focusing on the mission to forge a real estate firm that balanced profit with community welfare and unwavering ethics. Then came the day of final reckoning with the FBI. After months of intense investigation, the Bureau formally concluded that Skyline was not criminally liable for Horizon Heights beyond Bryce Caldwell's personal acts. However, Skyline had to pay a civil penalty for lacking robust oversight, along with implementing strict compliance reforms. Malik willingly complied, seeing it as a lesson well learned. The press announced, "Skyline clears major legal hurdle, ex-manager Caldwell held primarily accountable." Public sentiment favored Skyline's transparency. Meanwhile, Bryce Caldwell faced multiple felony counts, slated for trial soon. At an internal celebration, Reggie Thomas raised a toast to Skyline's future. "We overcame a crisis, reaffirmed our values, and emerged stronger." Applause echoed across the office lounge. Staff clinked glasses of sparkling cider, a nod to the zero-tolerance approach to hidden vices. Angela beamed at Malik, her eyes full of pride. She whispered, "Who would have thought so much could change after you heard rumors and decided to go undercover?" Malik grinned softly. "I've learned that sometimes you must see problems up close. Next time, though, I hope we can keep an ear to the ground without me donning a disguise." They both laughed, confident that Skyline's next chapter was bright, shaped by a culture of truth and accountability. 6 months later, a new normal prevailed at Skyline: robust compliance checks, a restructured management hierarchy, and an energized workforce. The City Lift initiative expanded beyond Chicago to satellite offices, reaffirming Skyline's philanthropic mission. Angela's role thrived. She served as a bridge between staff and upper leadership, ensuring lines of communication stayed open. One day, a letter arrived on Malik's desk. The return address was a federal prison in Indiana. Inside, a scrawled note from Bryce Caldwell. He wrote, "Congratulations, you won, but remember, no empire stands forever. Don't become the monster you fought." Malik reread the words, recognizing a tinge of bitterness, but also a strange wisdom. Bryce had reaped the hard karma of his wrongdoing, but his parting shot reminded Malik to stay vigilant. Power could corrupt if left unchecked. He filed the letter away. That evening, as he locked his office, he paused by the large mural in the hallway, a painting of the Chicago skyline with the words "Building Tomorrow with Integrity." He silently vowed, "I'll never let Skyline slip back into darkness. We'll remain watchful, keep hearts open." The memory of going undercover, seeing the tears of employees, witnessing corruption firsthand, it all fueled him to stay on the right path. Indeed, hard karma had come for those who deviated from the company's moral compass, and Skyline's rebirth now shone as a beacon of what true leadership could accomplish. One crisp Friday afternoon, Skyline Properties hosted a community open house in a renovated neighborhood once considered derelict. Thanks to the City Lift initiative, dozens of affordable rental units had been rehabilitated. Families strolled among freshly painted facades, children played in safe courtyards, and local leaders praised Skyline's contribution to revitalizing underprivileged areas without displacing the community. Malik stood at the edge of the event, quietly watching a single mother tearfully accept the keys to her new apartment. The scene resonated deeply. This was why he founded Skyline. As a Black CEO, he yearned not just for profit but for uplifting communities often overlooked by traditional real estate. Each success story validated the tumultuous journey behind them. Angela approached, her eyes shining with emotion. "We did it. People are calling this the model for ethical urban development." Malik nodded. "It's a start. More to do, but I'm proud of how far we've come." Glancing around, he spotted staff who once cowered under Bryce's intimidation, now brimming with purpose, volunteering at booths, greeting local residents. Hard karma had indeed struck the corrupt, but it also blossomed into a new era of accountability and compassion for Skyline. The day wound down, culminating in a small podium ceremony. Malik gave a brief speech, thanking the city officials and staff. His final words summed up Skyline's journey. "At Skyline, we believe in second chances and continuous growth for our properties and our people. We stand here renewed by lessons learned, and we vow to keep building with honesty and hope." Thunderous applause followed, a testament to the power of leading with integrity. In that moment, the reformed Skyline soared, unburdened by hidden rot, guided by a CEO who understood the profound impact of listening, even if it meant going undercover to hear the whispered truths. Thank you so much for watching this dramatic journey unfold. We witnessed how Malik Jefferson, the Black CEO of Skyline Properties, went undercover in his own company, only to uncover deep-seated corruption and intimidation. His swift response tore away the toxic layers, firing unethical employees and standing firmly against the very practices that threatened to dismantle his dream of an honorable, community-driven real estate firm. The painful yet necessary purge cleared the path for genuine reform, and in a heartfelt twist of fate, Skyline emerged stronger than ever, restoring trust, elevating staff morale, and reaffirming its founding principle of building neighborhoods with integrity. If you found this story captivating or enlightening, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support empowers us to bring you more drama-filled tales where justice and heart merge to forge uplifting messages. Drop a comment below on your favorite plot twist or your thoughts on workplace ethics. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Thank you again for tuning in, and stay inspired